Hi everyone, welcome to Glow with Grace. This is a 22-month update for our daughter Oria, and I'm actually filming this a week late. She turned 22 months a week ago, and this last week has just been absolutely crazy here, so hence the extremely late video. I did this video once already, but I just felt like I was like semi-delirious and I didn't make any sense and it went on forever, so I was like, I gotta do that again. So here we are. So the reason why everything was so crazy was on the day that Oria turned 22 months, a week ago, she suddenly got really ill, and so did our kitten at exactly the same time. It doesn't seem like it was connected. Totally different situation with them each, but exactly the same morning, they both just went bleh, just like started to be ill. So this is pretty much the first time Oria has been ill. She was unwell a little bit when she was a few months old because we didn't realize that we had mold in our mattresses, and we realized that, and then we just helped her and she was fine. But this was the first time that she's been ill, and we just didn't have a clue what was going on. It was really scary for us. She's our only child. This is the first time she was ill. I was just like, oh my God. So she started to vomit on the morning of the day that she turned 22 months. And she was just like vomiting and vomiting. And we don't know what happened still. We don't know if it was a virus, food poisoning, maybe some crazy back molars were coming in and just like totally knocking her immune system off. We don't know what happened. But I mean, and she's totally fine now, and so is the kitten. But at the time, it was just like, oh my God. So, she had a fever, she was vomiting, diarrhea, she couldn't keep anything in her stomach, she was just nursing. It was really intense for the first kind of like 6 hours, and then, it eased off from there onwards. But it went on over the course of like 3 or 4 days, her being not herself. It was really intense at the beginning, and she kind of gradually became more and more herself. And for me, I mean, it was almost like having a newborn again, because she was just so wanting to be with me, like 24/7, just really like miserable the whole time, and just nursing. So, it was like having a newborn again. Like, I couldn't do anything for myself almost at all. No possibility to like shower or even like get clothes on or anything, just like looking after this child. It was really intense. I mean, that would have been intense enough, but as I said, the kitten got ill exactly the same time. Doesn't seem to be connected. Totally bizarre. Like, he was totally fine. No issue whatsoever. And then on the same morning, suddenly he couldn't walk right. Suddenly this wrist or whatever, like, wasn't working properly. We thought, oh my God, he like fell or something and he sprained his ankle. Superficial injury, right? And then he just went into decline, and his health just went like zoom suddenly from, a wrist thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. There was no cuts or anything, I don't know what happened, but anyway, he ended up just like, just totally like lethargic on the couch, and eventually, he's fine as well now, so he got help, and then he came round, and now, both of them are just completely back to normal. But, both of those at the same time. We also at the same time let people know about a retreat that we're intending to have here on our land later this year. So, that was just bedlam as well. Exactly the same time, like everybody emailing us and just questions. And I was absolutely exhausted, actually. Just completely strung out dealing with all of that at the same time. So hence, here we are a week later and I'm finally making this video. So I'm going to try and do this quickly. It's probably still going to be like 20 minutes long, but here we go. Here's the things that Oria was doing and saying up to 22 months, which, was a week ago now. Okay, her sleep has been absolutely all over the place in this last month. I feel like we've kind of got to a place of it making more sense right now. Most of the time, actually, at the moment, she and I are sleeping in here, in this room, on a sofa and a mattress. We usually sleep out there in our outside bedroom, but it's been really cold, and I just feel like the moon has been like way too intense lately. And she was just like waking up all the time. She's like changing all her sleep stuff around. Like, she won't sleep in a sleep sack, and she'll only wear these kind of clothes to bed and not these, and she kicks all her covers off, and, you know, then it gets cold outside, and I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't have any covers on. So my solution was just, I brought her in here. It's like warmer in here, even though, you know, we've got like total airflow in between this room and the outside bedroom. Yeah, it's somehow, it just feels warmer in here, and I just get this sense of like, just like such a sense of relief, and she sleeps better. And yeah, so far at the moment, this is our solution. I don't know if it's a permanent solution, but it's helping us both to get more rest, because I literally got to the point of I almost had mastitis again in this last month, because her sleep was all over the place, and I wasn't getting enough rest. And I could feel like in my right breast this lump started to form, and I was like, oh my God. So I was, you know, like massaging that out, just like, we got to do something, we got to get better sleep. In terms of milk production, actually, there's less milk, I feel, these days, which, you know, is obviously natural. Like, she's 22 months. She's eating more all the time and nursing less. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of cover that, because it's something that people ask a lot, like, how much does she nurse now? I would say that nursing breast milk is probably still like 60%-ish of her intake. And well, just now when she was ill, then it was like almost the only thing that she was intaking. So, you know, that was like a total blip in the nursing flow. But yeah, usually I would say at this point she probably nurses like 10 to 15 times a day, like in the space of 24 hours, you know. And waking up at night, it completely varies from like not waking up at all to waking up like 8-10 times, like depending on, you know, the moon and how the day's been and stuff like that. And she never, in my experience, nurses for more than like 5 minutes anymore. That would be like the maximum, except when she was ill just now. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's shifting all the time, and that's where we're at right now. Something that's been really fun for me to observe with her in this last month is I feel like she's becoming more kind of like patient and kind of considering other people and responsible and those kinds of things, which is just, you know, blows me away at 22 months to start to see that kind of shift in her. I just notice it with things like, you know, say we're going out of the door and there's something that I've forgotten and I want to go back and get it, you know, rather than kind of being, she'll just stand there and wait for me now. Like, you know, I explain what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot this, I'm going to go and get it. And she'll just stand there and wait, which is just amazing for me to see. And I was thinking about it in terms of, you know, the potential evolution of a human from birth onwards. It's like you come in and you're a newborn and you're just like screaming, and you don't have any other way to communicate to people what you want, and you can't even think about anybody else. Like, you know, you don't even maybe know that you exist or anyone else. And then, you know, at some point, hopefully you become an adult who, you know, can kind of think about other people and have compassion and consideration for other people and all those kind of things. And there's some kind of, you know, spectrum in there, right? Like, to get from the one place to the other. And I just have this feeling like I saw a step on that path in this last month, and it just is so amazing to me to watch that unfold in a person, and it's just really endearing as well. We've had some really cool incidents in the last month where basically I've been apologizing to her for things, and it's been amazing to watch how she receives that and processes that. So one example would be like I found her like picking a part of the paint off a wall out there. And so, you know, I was sitting with her and explaining like, Mama doesn't like it when you do that. That's ow for the wall. Dada doesn't like it either when you do that. The wall's going to have a hole in it now, all these kind of things, you know. And she didn't really respond, like, you know, she just carried on doing it. So eventually, after a few minutes, I took her hand away from it, and of course and she didn't like that at all. But then I, you know, take her and I nurse her, and I just, you know, sit with her and I say, I don't mean to upset you, Rai. I don't want to upset you. Mama really, really loves Rai. You know that. I don't like it when the wall gets damaged, and I'm sorry that I took your hand away. I just don't want the wall to get damaged, and I want to, you know, explain to you why and all that kind of stuff. And it's just been amazing to see her reaction. Like, that's just one example, you know, there's been other things as well, but every time she'll just like lay there and she looks up at me and she's like, it's like she totally receives it and appreciates it, and she's just kind of like, yeah. And then afterwards, every single time, she'll she'll get up and she'll make some kind of statement about, this isn't something that Oria does, you know. She'll be like, this, Oria, no, and Oria doesn't paint here on the wall, and you know, just all these different things. It's like she turns it around into something that she's telling me or she's telling other people, you know, like, Oria doesn't do this. Like she takes it on and she owns it for herself, and it blows me away every time. It's so humbling, you know, and I just feel so so excited to have that kind of flow and connection with her when she's so young, you know, because you know, this is all totally new to me. I feel like I'm practicing, like, okay, how can I communicate this to her in the most kind of respectful way, and I just feel like we're getting this amazing practice and amazing results, and what a foundation for her as a way to communicate with other people. So that's been really fun for me this last month. Another really cool thing that she started to want to do this last month is to have her bum cleaned after she poos. So this was sometimes a struggle before this last month. She would, you know, she'd poo and then I'd be like wanting to clean her bum and she'd just be like, no. But now she has like, again, like taken this on for herself and like owned this for herself. And now she'll be on her squat toilet. We made like a special squat toilet for her because she's always squatted to go to the bathroom. She's like a diaper-free baby. If you don't know that, she's never worn nappies, diapers. So she's always squatted to poo. And so we have this little squat toilet for her. And now when she's finished, and she's been really responsible actually about using the toilet all the time lately, like almost always goes to the toilet in the toilet. So she'll finish pooing and then she'll be like, bam! And she'll get herself into all these crazy positions where she's like leaning over so you can clean her butt. She'll go into like downward dog pose pretty much, you know, the yoga pose, so you can clean her bum. And she's just really patient about it, like waiting until I say like, okay, it's good, you know, instead of just being like one wipe and then she's So that's been so amazing to see, again, that she's like taking responsibility for something like that for herself. Interestingly, she started to crawl in this last month like a baby, which she never did when she was actually a baby. She was a bum shuffler baby, you know, like little kind of monkey, like shuffling along. And suddenly in this last month, I mean, she just realized like this was another way of getting around, that she can crawl as well. So sometimes she'll do that instead of, you know, like walking or running or whatever she usually does. She'll just like get down on all fours and like scuffle along like a baby. It's really funny. She's been really, really into drawing and colouring and scribbling in this last month. Massively into it. It kind of coincided with, we've been doing a lot of kind of art things here. So I've been buying like all these pencils and crayons and stuff. And she just like, vroom, just like totally took them over. And that's like a big thing that she does every day at the moment. Just there's pages and pages and pages all around the house of like different things. And she'll be like, she'll ask all these different things to draw for her, like draw a donkey and draw a cat and all these things. And one of the main things that she likes to do is, you remember like when you're in school and they get you to draw like this around your hand or around your foot, like the outlines of your hands and feet. She loves doing that, and she'll just do that over and over again and get me to put my hands and my feet down and stuff. And it's actually quite ironic because when she was a baby and we would try to get her to do things like put her hand imprints into clay, for example, she went nuts. So she wouldn't let us do anything like that. But now she's like all about it. A few things about clothing. I don't think I've ever mentioned that she's really into wearing swimming costumes. I think swimsuits is the word in North America. Yeah, she has a couple of swimming costumes and she's just obsessed with them. Like they're like her choice of clothing pretty much over anything else. Not even because, you know, she wants to like go in the swimming pool or anything like that. She just likes to wear swimming costumes. And something else about clothing, she's very particular about how you put her socks on, or how she puts her socks on. They have to be absolutely flush with her toes at the ends. Otherwise it's not okay, and they have to be like yanked to be like exactly flush with her toes. She actually put trousers on completely by herself the other day. I was like looking the other way, doing some stuff, and I turned around and I was like, what? She just like pulled them on, had them like totally in place. It's amazing, you know, the little advancements all the time. And well, another thing about clothing is that she's not really into clothing a lot of the time. You know, she's one of those children, maybe they're all like this really, she just loves to be naked as much as possible. So that kind of gets tricky when we're trying to, you know, film videos or something and she's like naked all the time. But she really doesn't have seemingly any issues with cold, which I find fascinating. I've noticed this before with other raw food children, and especially because, you know, we live basically at the equator. So she doesn't experience, you know, like crazy hardcore winters or anything like that. It's pretty much the same day every day all year round here. So she has no issues with cold almost all the time, it seems like. Like she doesn't care whether she wears clothes or not. She'd rather not wear them. We'll get up at like 6 a.m. and she'll like go and like get a tub and like fill the tub up with water and just like sit in this like cold water at 6 o'clock in the morning. She'll get in the swimming pool at that time. You know, the people turn up and they're like, aren't you cold, right? And she's just like just doesn't faze her in the slightest. So that's really interesting for me to observe because, you know, I grew up in England with like 4 seasons and I definitely don't like being in the cold at all. So it'll be interesting to see if that stays with her over the years, or, you know, if she travels, if she experiences different things. But for now, she doesn't care about the cold at all. She absolutely loves water. She is a Scorpio, watery. She'll just play with water for hours and hours on end. You know, she'll go from her paddling pool to sitting in a sink and playing with water, to just sitting with a tap and just like watching the water, playing with the hose pipe in the garden, in the bath, in the swim, just one thing after another, just so fascinated by water. And she just kind of like just like spaces out into tranquility. Like if she's got water that she's playing with, she's so happy. And the other thing similar to that for her is the sandbox. We made a sandbox for her, and that's just such great therapy. Like if she's just kind of freaking out and grumpy and stuff, we just go there. And even for me, you know, like we just sit there and it's like, oh, it's just so calming, like playing with the sand. We can be in there for like an hour and we don't even realize it. You know, it's like, wow, we've been doing this for a long time. So those 2 things are really useful for helping her to calm down. Another little thing I don't know if I've ever mentioned is that she likes to count everything around her in terms of the people and animals who she knows. So, for example, one of her favorite activities is to be swung backwards and forwards in a piece of fabric, right? And she wants everything to be counted by by the animals here, for example. So it's like Simba, Gypsy Boots, JJJ, and she just loves that, and she'll ask you to do it like over and over and over again. So she's really into her swing as well at the moment. She has like a baby toddler swing, and she'll just sit in that for ages, and just like every push of the swing, she likes it to be like the name of somebody, and she'll do it herself. You know, if she's like counting pencils on the floor or something, she'll be like Oria, Mama, Dada, Pepe, like all the people who she knows. It's really endearing as well, you know. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the words that she came out with in the last month before turning 22 months. I feel like I did a pretty good job getting most of them down this time. It is getting trickier and trickier all the time though, because she just comes out with so much all the time, and I'm like, trying to remember everything, although I don't always have something to write it down on. But yeah, here we go for this month. She went nutso with Spanish words this month. Oh, actually, in this last week, since she turned 22 months, she's come out with just some just amazing stuff in English, but we'll save that for next time just to be chronologically accurate. So, okay, here's the stuff in English in the last month. Egg. The animals eat eggs, and she loves to bring them from the fridge out to like prepare the food for them, and she's just so funny with them. Like she'll put whole eggs down in front of the dogs, and they just like eat the whole thing. White, the colour. Samson is the name of the new kitten who was just ridiculously ill. Cashews, she loves to eat. Lunch, she uses the word lunch kind of instead of the word food, which is pretty funny because we pretty much only like sit down to eat the meal of lunch, right? We only really sit down to eat something in the middle of the day. So somehow she's kind of like come to associate that with that's food, like lunch. She says it about anything that she's eating. Lunch. Juice. Jump up. Yayita, she now calls herself. She has called herself Yaya for a long time rather than Oria. She says Yaya, and now she's put the diminutive on the end, so she's like little Yaya. She's Yayita. Same color, she says. Dress, swap, sling, down, bumbo. You know those little baby chairs? She had one of those bumbos, and she found it in the last month, and she was like trying to sit in it all the time. She's like dragging it around the house with her everywhere. Katumi, this was really random. This was the name of a guy who was visiting here who she didn't even like have any connection with at all, but for some reason she like got his name in an instant, and she'd be like, Katumi. Matching, people, yum pot is what I often call dessert. I say it's a yum pot, and one day she just started going, yum pop. Swimming, leaf, pink, blue, sauerkraut. She loves sauerkraut. Pocket, helicopter. This kind of freaked me out actually. One day I was outside with her, and a helicopter went overhead, and I was like looking up and pointing at it, and she went, bomb, 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 bomb. And I was like, what? I don't know where she got that from. I think that was really some kind of past life thing. Like, we don't expose even ourselves to like bombs, helicopters, military, anything like that. But for some reason she was just saying, and she's never even heard that word, I'm sure, bomb, but that's what she was saying like, over and over again, bomb, 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 bomb. And I said, it's a helicopter, bomb, bomb, bomb. Okay. So yeah, she's been obsessed with helicopters since that moment, and she asks to see pictures of helicopters all the time. She gets me to like show her videos of helicopters all the time on YouTube, and we got her actually a toy helicopter, and it's like one of her favorite things. So it's interesting because my whole family, when I was growing up, everybody worked in aviation, so there's like some kind of thread there, and I don't know what's going on there, but strong helicopter theme at the moment. And the other one that she's been saying in English is adventure. I forgot to mention this. She's suddenly in the last month really loved going in her pushchair as well, her stroller. She has gone through phases of liking that and not liking that in her life. And prior to this, it was a big not liking it phase. But suddenly one day she was just like, and she wanted to go in it, and she calls it her coche, her like car. And yeah, she just every day at the moment she'll want to go in it like multiple times a day. And she always says venture, like she wants to go on an adventure in it. So every time she says venture, no, like okay, here we go. Okay, so here's the words in Spanish for this month. She said cosas, things, chiquitito, little one, vestido, dress, corazón, heart, baja, down, yeah, kind of a tricky word. It means literally like already, but she'll use it like, for example, ya ves, like, do you see? Para allá, over there. Allí, oh man, there's so many words in here that I don't even really know the exact translation. I'm like learning from her. So, correct me, Spanish speakers, if I'm messing this up. But allí, I think is like here or there, one of those words. Canta, sing. She'll often say if I'm singing, she'll say, no, canta, mama. She doesn't like me singing very much. She's okay with lullabies, like when she's going to sleep, but not in the daytime. She doesn't like it. Así, like this. Funda, bag. Arriba, up. Linda, lovely. Bonita, beautiful. Silla, seat. Toalla, towel. Té, tea. Basura, rubbish. Oh, this one's funny. Picarona. I think this must probably be a local word. I've never heard this in Spanish before, but it's something like, oh, that's so cool, or something, picarona, and she'll say that, all different things. Vaca, cow, ahora, now, venga, oh man, what are these? Venga is like come, and vaya or vayas, she'll say like no vayas, like don't go or something. Que pasó, like what happened. Sale, leave. Gusanito, little caterpillar. There's a song about a gusanito, a little caterpillar that she likes to sing. Con, with. Come, eat. She'll say like no come este Oria, like Oria doesn't eat this, which is really great as well. She's very aware. Like if we say to her about something like Oria doesn't eat that, like she gets that immediately, and she'll say no come Oria. Blusa, shirt, camisa shirt. Grandote, like a really huge, enormous. Collar, tail of an animal. Sin, without. Moja, like get something wet. Mojado, something that's wet. Cabeza, head. All these kind of things are like pronoun kind of things that I just don't get them, but she's, she just like total immersion. She doesn't think twice about using all these things. So again, I'm learning so much. So she'll use like uno, una, este, esta, ese, esa, el, la, like all of those words that I feel like it's like a lottery every time I speak. I just like pick one. I'm not very good at that kind of grammar stuff. But yeah, she gets it all. Dame, like give me. Dice, say, says, said. She'll say like, if somebody says Oria, she'll be like Oria dice, like they said Oria. Coche, her little pushchair, stroller, well it's car. Papel, paper. Zanahoria, carrot. Hormigas, ants. Maracuya, passion fruit. Quita, like stop it, like with the animals, quita, quita. Like go away. Mira, look, like as in look at that. There is. Dormir, to sleep. Compro, bought, like she'll say like Dada bought me this. Dada compró este. Bota, throw. Si, yes. I really don't know if I'm doing duplicates here. I've just been like so out of it this last week. I didn't like cross check these words with anything, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating stuff. Pintura, her colouring pencils, paint. Lado, side, as in like the other side of like a piece of paper, should be like otro lado. Casita, my parents sent her like a little kind of playhouse. She just loves it. It's like a little kind of princess fairy castle house, and she has all her socks in there and stuff. She absolutely loves it. She calls it her casita. Amarillo, yellow. Pone, like put, like Oria is putting on her trousers. She'll be like Oria pone. Ultima, the last. Comida, food. Afuera, outside. Sucio, dirty. Pica moscas. There's been quite a lot of kind of mosquitoes and no-see-ums recently, and as I said, she's not really into wearing clothes, so we've been able to kind of help her to wear clothes more by saying like, we don't want Oria to get like bitten by mosquitoes. Pica moscas, like mosquitoes biting. And she again has like kind of taken that on for herself. Like if she wants to go outside and she hasn't got any clothes on, she'll be like, no, pica moscas Oria. So she's kind of taking responsibility for that. Huevo is egg in Spanish. Mismo color, the same color. Hace calor is like, it's hot. Like, if I say like, do you want to put this piece of clothing on, and she'll be like, no, hace calor, like it's hot, like it makes things hot. Cancha, we have a basketball court that has like kind of caging around it. She calls that the cancha. Acá, there, some kind of version of there. Is like Oria is a girl. Oria is una niña. And then all the kind of diminutives that there are in Spanish, like yayita and cita and ito, and all those kind of little things that they put on the end of words, kind of like an endearment, you know, like little Oria and little Simba and things like that. They're really into that here in Ecuador, super into diminutizing everything. So she picks that up and she can use that like totally naturally. So amazing little bilingual reality that, you know, she doesn't even think twice about, and, you know, we're just there all the time learning from her. So there we go. That's the 22-month update for Oria. I hope this time I made more sense, and that you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Ciao!